Princess Diana, the Queen of Hearts. She was called the People's Princess, but behind that smile, there was a story no fairy tale could ever tell. A story of love, pain, courage, and transformation. This is the life of Princess Diana, the woman who changed the meaning of royalty forever. Diana Spencer was born on July 1st, 1961, in a noble British family. Her childhood was not as perfect as it seemed. Her parents divorced when she was just a little girl, and the house that looked royal from the outside felt lonely within. Diana grew up craving warmth, love, and care, things she promised she would one day give to others. She loved music, dancing, and helping people. She worked as a kindergarten teacher before she ever dreamed of being a princess. Her kindness and gentle spirit made everyone around her feel special. Even as a young woman, she believed that small acts of care could change lives. And one day, her life changed forever. When Diana met Prince Charles, the heir to the British throne, the world called it a modern fairy tale. In 1981, their wedding became one of the most watched events in human history. Over 750 million people tuned in to witness the shy 20-year-old become a princess. Her dress, her smile, her innocence, everything about her seemed magical. The world fell in love with Diana, but life inside the palace was not what she expected. The walls were beautiful, but cold. Her days were filled with rules, duties, and expectations. The spotlight never left her. Every move, every glance, every emotion was judged by millions. And slowly, that fairy tale began to fade. Behind closed doors, her marriage was falling apart. Diana faced heartbreak, betrayal, and loneliness. She suffered from depression and an eating disorder, things most people didn't dare to talk about back then. But instead of letting her pain destroy her, she turned it into strength. She decided that if the royal system couldn't give her happiness, she would create her own purpose, through kindness. Diana began to use her fame for something greater. She visited hospitals, orphanages, and shelters, without photographers or royal guards. She held the hands of patients no one else would touch. When the world was terrified of AIDS, she hugged patients with love, proving that compassion is stronger than fear. That single act changed how millions of people viewed humanity. She didn't see herself as above others. She saw herself as one of them. Reporters began calling her the People's Princess, and she wore that title with pride. Diana's influence wasn't limited to charity. She redefined the royal family itself. She showed that being royal was not about distance, it was about connection. She laughed with children, danced with the sick, and listened to the broken. Her warmth became a light in the often cold world of politics and power. One of her most powerful moments came in 1997, when she walked through a landmine field in Angola. She wasn't just showing bravery, she was demanding change. Her walk helped the world see the danger that millions of innocent people lived with every day. That moment led to real action. Even after her death, it inspired countries to ban landmines. But beyond her global image, Diana's most cherished role was being a mother. Her sons, William and Harry, were her heart. She wanted them to grow up knowing the real world, not just the royal one. She took them to fast food restaurants, amusement parks, and hospitals. She made sure they saw joy and struggle, laughter and pain. She wanted them to understand what being human truly means. Her honesty also made her unique. In interviews, Diana spoke about her emotional struggles openly. She talked about the pressure, the media, and how lonely life could be even inside a palace. The world had never seen a royal speak so openly before, and that honesty made people love her even more. Through all the pain, Diana's courage never faded. She smiled for others even when her heart was heavy. She turned her suffering into compassion, her weakness into strength. And slowly, she became a symbol of resilience. Then, on the night of August 31st, 1997, tragedy struck. In a dark tunnel in Paris, a car crash took her life. The news broke across the world like thunder. People cried on the streets, strangers held each other, and the world stood still. More than 2.5 billion people watched her funeral, one of the largest in history. It wasn't just the death of a princess. It was the loss of hope, kindness, and light. Yet, her spirit didn't die that night. Her story continued. In every life she touched, in every cause she fought for, in every heart she healed. Her sons grew up to carry her mission forward, using compassion and humanity as their greatest strength. And even today, decades later, her name brings warmth to the coldest of hearts. Princess Diana showed us something the world desperately needed to remember: that true greatness is not measured by crowns, titles, or luxury. It's measured by love, by empathy, and by the courage to care. You don't need to be royal to change lives. You don't need to be rich to be remembered. You just need to be kind, real, and human. In a world obsessed with fame, Diana chose humility. In a world full of pride, she chose compassion. In a world that tried to silence her, she spoke her truth. That's why even today, she is not remembered as the Queen of England, but forever as the Queen of Hearts. Thanks for watching.